That's good.
Well,
usually it's when I cross my arms and I'm sitting in my recliner. That's when I know I'm going to fucking pass out.
that's just old people shit. We're getting old, especially dads.
Yeah.
We can just fall asleep anywhere.
That's true.
Crystal hates it whenever I get in bed and I'm like, I'm out. Like that.
Usually as soon as my head hits the pillow,
Yeah,
I'm
as
out.
soon as I hit the pillow, dude, I'm out. She's like, I can't. I was like, you got too much going on in your brain then. Me, I just shut that shit off, which men can do quite easily because we're guys.
I don't really have a problem sleeping. I haven't had a problem sleeping since I was in high school.
Yeah, I got no issue with sleeping.
Sometimes.
It's waking up in the middle of the night to go pee is the problem. I'm always, like, every night I'm up taking a piss. Like, God damn it.
2 in the morning.
Usually it's like once for me, if at all.
I hate it because, like, I get up and I'm like, I wake up because I got to pee and I'm like, but I don't want to get out of bed because I'm like, fuck, dude, just go back to sleep. Forget about the pee. You know what I mean?
Doesn't work.
It doesn't work. But so I got to get up, go take a piss.
I would rather do that, though.
And it's always at like 4 in the morning. Like, I got to be up in an hour. Why do you got to do like, do it at like 1 or 2?
As I say, like, mine's usually like 1, but like the worst part about it is like if you do fall back asleep, because like sometimes I will, like, oh, I gotta pee, and then I'll fall back asleep. And then I wake up at like 5:20, 10 minutes before I gotta get up, 5:20, having to pee so bad I can't go back to sleep. So it's like, if I wake up.
And I think that too. I'm like, I better get up and do it or it's going to have me up here in another hour.
Yeah. So I just go.
Usually mine's like, oh, I wake up and I'm like, God damn it, I got to pee. And I'll look at my alarm and it's like, or at my clock and it's like, oh, I got to be up in a half an hour. That's fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I get up and go pee or do I just try to fall back asleep? Because if I get up and go pee, I might not be able to fall back asleep.
Yeah.
But if you sit there, you're not going to be
able to.
If I get up, I'm up. There's no going back to sleep.
That's how I am. That's why, like, I don't get much, like, everybody's like, oh, I sleep in on the weekends. I don't know how you do that. Because I feel like I'm wasting my weekend. So I wake up at like, it doesn't matter. Like, we went to bed Friday at like 3 in the morning. And I was still up at 8:30. Mm-hmm. I was up and I was like, I got to get up. I don't know why I got up. I just got up and.
I think the earlier for me is like 9. But that's pretty rare, honestly.
That's fucking...
Once I get up, I'm up. There's no going back to sleep.
That's me, too. Once I'm up, I'm pretty much up. I can't...
Yeah, I can go back to bed.
I fucking hate it. I hate that I have to pee.
I hate that I have to pee.
Fuck human body.
Yeah, stupid body stuff. I don't understand. Like, you realize we sleep a third of our life? That's a lot of fucking... That's a lot of sleep. That's a lot of time wasted on just sleep. I feel like... So I think that's why I don't like sleeping that much.
I can understand that.
Because I'm like, I'm just wasting time laying in my bed with my eyes shut. Whenever there's so many things to do and see. Even though I don't really do or see anything.
I'm happy whenever
I'm too poor for that shit.
Yeah, I go downstairs and stare at my wall for a while. Drink coffee.
It's less peopling.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I usually do it. The reason why I like getting up early on the weekends is because it's my time of peace and quiet. Like, I know that everybody else is in bed and asleep. So that's my time for me to, like...
I'm usually the first one up at my house, but it's usually like 10.
Right. I don't know. I don't understand it, but fuck it. Who needs sleep? Sleep when you're dead.
I try to get up a little earlier on Sundays, though. Because I know I'm going to be getting, or I have to go back to,
I definitely try to be up.
So I try to be up by 10 at the latest on
There's been a few times where I'll, like, if I stay up late on the weekend, I'll sleep till like 11. It's rare, though.
Yeah, I try not to do that on a Sunday, though.
Oh, no, I never sleep in on Sundays.
Yeah, I don't like sleeping in on Sundays.
They always have me open at work on Sundays.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome back. We are... Well, you know who the fuck we are. What am I going to say it? You're here. You read our YouTube, right? You clicked on it, or Spotify. You know who we are. We're the fucking Bonsai Movie Crew, right?
Yep.
Maybe. Check out them fucking socials.
I don't know, are we?
Yes.
Well, we are. You won't be soon enough.
I don't know, are we?
Do you kick her out, or do we make her like an alumni or something?
Well, it's kind of like, it's like that. Like, once you're part of the crew, you're part of the crew.
Okay.
You know what I mean? All of you who subscribe, you're part of the crew. You know?
Yes.
That's the whole point. That's why we're called the Bonsai Movie Crew. Once you subscribe or, like, start listening to us, you're part of that crew. Just the way it is. It's like being a family member.
Call them your little zombies.
No. They're just branches of a tree, like a bonsai tree.
I imagine whenever we do start doing like merchandising, it's gonna be it's gonna be one of those like
Merchandising.
we'll have like a Ghostbusters commercial where it's like limit one per family.
Okay. Well, I guess we go ahead and get into the creator profile.
Oh, good lord, this is gonna be rough. Because I feel like no matter who you picked, it's gonna be hard for me to pick what my favorite thing is.
Oh, okay. I didn't even look to see what all he has. I'm sure we all know who it is.
Is it Bill motherfucking Murray?
No. Harold Ramis.
Oh yeah. Did
Who?
he?
Harold Ramis.
Ramis.
Ramis?
Ramis.
Ramis? Harold Ramis?
Ramis.
Yeah, it's Harold Ramis.
Sweet.
Harold Ramis, I figure we do him. He's done a lot of directing and stuff like that, so let's do that guy.
Damn it.
What?
I gotta figure out what I like.
I don't even know, to be honest with you. I can read it here and give you guys the opportunity. It's not very long. A couple paragraphs.
I feel like I'm cheating, but I will go. I have one in mind, but I'll go through.
He's got a few movies that I really like.
Well, yeah, that's my
the
problem.
Year One is one of them.
He's like 90% of my childhood right there.
For sure. They even say that in this.
Yeah, like he's
They even say
responsible for like
if your top 5 favorite comedies of all time, I guarantee you at least one of those was either written, directed, or starred Harold Ramis.
That's what I'm saying. Like he is responsible for like 90% of my childhood for sure.
Did he direct that?
I can't remember if
He did.
directed. Yeah.
Caddyshack.
Yeah, he wrote it and directed
Yeah,
it.
because
That was the one I was gonna pick. If I'm honest, that I was literally saying in my head
I love
Caddyshack all
Caddyshack.
day.
he brought Bill Murray in there just
Yeah, that was Bill Murray.
just coming on the set.
He come on set
You're like, hey.
and he was like, no, he walked up to one of the extras. He was supposed to have lunch with Harold, and he went on set and he was talking to the extra that he talks to in the movie, and he said the Dalai Lama thing, just off the top of his head, made it up, and Harold was like, "You want to be in this?" And he didn't even write him everything he does in that movie is ad lib. He didn't write any lines for him.
Babe Ruth bar in the pool.
Yeah, he didn't write one line for him. He just he just walked on set.
Probably
and said
one of
what he
his
wanted.
best movies. To
I'm
be
telling
honest.
you, man.
Well, I'm talking about Bill Murray.
Story.
Like, it's actually one of Bill Murray's movies where he's actually like, I wouldn't say like he's not funny in other movies, but like he's
intentionally
playing-
going over the top.
He's playing a character.
he's playing a character.
He's playing a
Exactly.
character, and I think that's great. Instead of just being like this witty smartass, he's playing a fucking character.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
dude, that movie.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Mine is Caddyshack. I'm over it.
Hold
I'm
on.
gonna
Let's
keep
not
looking.
blow our loads early here.
I
It's
just
too
did.
bad.
I
It's
don't
too
have
late.
another load to
You're
blow.
blowing your prematurely.
So I said Caddyshack.
Blowing your load here. All right, Harold Ramis. Date of birth November 1st, 1944. Damn. He was born right around World War II. What a good time.
Right before it ended.
Yeah.
If you know your top 5 favorite movie comedies, you will undoubtedly name at least one that was helmed, acted in, or written by Harold Ramis. Although he was often thought of as a Canadian, I mean, if he is Canadian, he's a fucking Canadian. He hailed from Chicago, Illinois. Since Ramis was a founding member of Canada's Second City comedy troupe, it's easy to see why fans made the mistake. He began his career in comedy as a writer for Playboy magazine's Party Jokes page, while holding down his enviable day job. He was also performing at night as part of Chicago's famed Second City comedy troupe. He worked alongside such comedy legends as John Belushi, Gilda Radner, and Bill Murray. Despite his obvious gift of comedic talent, when it came time for producer Lorne Michaels to cast the new show Saturday Night Live, Ramis was deemed too ethnic looking. What the fuck? Okay, he just looked too much like a normal guy.
I think it's Jewish.
Oh, is that what it is? He looks too Jewish.
He looks too Jewish.
The fuck, Lorne Michaels? What are you, a racist? You
Right?
Fuck. He does come off as kind of a douche.
Lorne Michaels is not my favorite person.
Yeah, he's just something about that guy, you know?
He's one of those people that is synonymous with comedy, but not because he's he's comedic. He just came up with a great idea.
Yeah, he came up with a great idea, and he's been riding that fucking coattail for 50 goddamn years. 50 years, man.
Which, I mean, admittedly, it's very innovative.
Yeah.
Because at the time, you didn't have anything like it.
Yeah.
So, cool, but I don't like him very much.
Yeah, he's not a funny dude. Even whenever they put him in skits and stuff, he's not funny.
Well, it's not
He
that
doesn't even try.
It's not that he's not funny. I don't care if you're not funny, like, you're just boring, I guess, at that point. But, like...
He is a boring person,
with the things that he's done, like that, for example.
Yeah.
Like, you hear about these things that happened, like, behind the scenes with SNL, and it's very off-putting. His character is very off-putting.
Yeah. Because he's just a businessman. That's all he is. He put together a group of funny people and called it a show, and he's been writing it, like I said, for 50 years.
Well, in all honesty, he looked at National Lampoon, the magazine, and went, yeah, I'm going to take all them people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he did, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much what he did.
And then as soon as those people were gone, SNL started to kind of suck.
Well, they've had some good runs. They've had a few.
No, they've had good seasons, but it's not like it was when you had that core group from National Lampoon and the core group for the original cast. I mean, that shit was banging every freaking Saturday.
Yeah, it was huge whenever it first came out.
Yeah.
All right, so Not to Be Undone, Ramis, along with Joe Flaherty, Andrea Martin, John Candy, and Eugene Levy, founded the Canadian-based comedy series SCTV in 1976.
That's where Strange Brew came from.
Yeah. The show provided several lifelong friendships, but also a talent for directing. At SCTV, we were virtually self-directed. Whoever wrote the piece pretty much determined how the piece was going to play. We directed each other. Joe Flaherty kind of appointed himself my director. He'd tell me stuff like, open your eyes real big. In 1978, Ramis co-wrote the comedy Animal House, and because of its success, he was soon able to write his ticket in Hollywood. When the movie became a hit, Ramis worked on a deal that would allow him to direct the next movie that he wrote. So my thing about this is, like, if you think about it, man, back then you got to think of like the comedy troupe and all them. Like, those guys are today's YouTubers. The people out on YouTube and somehow or another either get record deals or find themselves in movies and shit like that. Those people who have charisma and can act, or maybe not even act, but are just comedically good at comedic timing and things like that. They have it. And sometimes those people are discovered right here on the internet or on TikTok or whatever. You know, everybody bitches about, like, oh, they're just putting TikTok people in movies and blah, blah, blah.
Some of them
That's how,
it.
I mean,
some of them are really
some of them are good. I mean, you find talent, you find talent. It doesn't matter where they come from.
Absolutely.
It's just, can they do it is the question. I'm trying to think of a good one. I mean, it's no different than your wrestlers, your pro wrestlers turning to acting. What the fuck do you think they were doing in wrestling? They were acting.
How many actresses or actors that you see go into music, or vice versa?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, I don't know. I look at it like this. Like, today, entertainment has changed immensely. Mm-hmm. You know, when you used to think, like...
But it's still kind of the same. You know what I mean?
Well, you used to think, like, okay, for example, if you saw something that said straight to video, you're like, yeah, I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But nowadays, so many things will go straight to digital or straight to whatever, and they're not bad. They're not bad movies at all.
Because that's the media you have to consume now. Because,
correct,
like, theaters are literally dying.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I think the theater experience is something huge.
I agree.
And, but don't get me wrong, if something has a theater run, I believe that it shows the quality of that movie.
Sure.
And how much, they're willing to invest in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But
now, it doesn't necessarily mean that,
right,
some of these movies that are going straight to digital are bad.
Yeah, or even to, Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that entertainment has changed. The same rules don't apply. And also, I think people are starting to understand that you can create some really good content without Hollywood's involvement.
One of the best movies I watched last year, if it did have a theatrical run, it was a very small one, and it was in limited. I'm sure it was limited, but Strange Darling.
Yeah, that was very good.
One of the best fucking movies I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that movie, I don't even think it was in theaters.
No, I don't think so.
I know that I just saw a preview for it. I said I want to see that, and whenever it came out on digital, I was like, "Here it is, let's watch it."
Yep.
So, like, and that was one of the best movies of last year. Actually,
I would agree. That was a very good movie.
I would say it probably was my favorite movie from last year. That movie was awesome, and just original ideas like that are what we lack nowadays.
That's what I'm getting at. Is that the entertainment industry has changed so much, and finding YouTubers because you can't find good quality the old way doesn't necessarily mean that they're any less. That's what I'm kind of getting at, is that they're not any less talented than, say, someone going to auditions every day in Hollywood.
Yep.
Like, you don't necessarily need Hollywood anymore, is what my argument would be.
You really don't. There's so many good directors and low budget films coming out nowadays. You don't need Hollywood. Look at A24.
No doubt.
I mean, they're
creating an
bangers,
empire.
dude. Yeah.
They're
putting out bangers.
like what is it? Blumhouse. It's like what Blumhouse used to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, A24 is like one of the biggest production companies.
Hell, I'd almost argue when it comes to like horror movies, like
they're better.
They're better as low budget or not produced by Hollywood or whatever. Like
A24's got it. I don't know. Like they just know how to, like they go like. I'm not saying that they produce movies, but like I mean they do produce some movies, but like they go in and they go to like these festivals and shit, and they pick up these movies, and they know a good fucking movie when they see it. Like, oh yeah, this one's gonna be huge.
Mm-hmm.
So they slap their logo on it, like, hey.
Yeah.
We're going to distribute your movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or they bring people in and say like, you're a great director, so here, we'll sign you on for 3 projects or whatever.
Yeah, it's smart. They're good. They're an awesome company.
No shit.
Usually, if it has A24 at the beginning of the movie, you're like, all right, this is probably like pay.
It's probably going to be good.
It's probably going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, we got off subject there.
Yeah.
I gotta find my place.
Sorry.
Okay. Fuck, where was I? Hold on. All right, his first writing and directing job was the hilarious Caddyshack, starring Chevy Chase. While Ramis is sometimes thought of as strictly an actor, he only acted in a handful of films, including Ghostbusters, which he co-wrote, and As Good as It Gets. As Good as It Gets. Was that the one with...
That was, shit. I want to say Jack Nicholson.
It's Jack Nicholson, yeah, and Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
Well, who the fuck was he in that?
Wasn't he the one guy's friend? Because I remember, for some reason, I'm thinking of him being at dinner with somebody.
Maybe. He had a smaller role then.
Yeah.
Because,
believe it or not, he didn't really like to act.
I believe that, yeah.
He preferred to be behind the camera.
Creating, yeah. His real successes were behind the camera, directing Hollywood heavyweights such as Robert De Niro and Billy Crystal in Analyze This, Bill Murray in Groundhog Day, and Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley in Bedazzled, which was also a funny movie.
That movie is hilarious.
It's a very underrated comedy.
Yes, it is.
Ramis, which back whenever it came out,
Me gusto.
It's so good.
It is.
It's
you know
so
what my
good.
favorite part is? When he asks to be sensitive.
Oh yeah.
And he keeps looking at the sun and crying. He's like, that damn sun!
Yeah, it's so fun. I ain't seen that movie in so long. I love Brendan Fraser.
Me too.
He was so,
Me too.
I was like during his high. Like Brendan Fraser was everywhere.
I like
Isn't that the one where he like keeps making wishes?
Yeah, because she's the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making deals with
The very
devil.
first wish she does is like, I want a Big Mac and a Coke.
Yeah.
And so she takes him to McDonald's. He
Yeah.
orders it, and then he makes him pay for it. And he's like, that wasn't a wish. I went to McDonald's and got what I wanted. And then at the end, she's like, well, you had 3 wishes. And he's like, no, I had this, or 10 wishes or whatever. And he's like, no, I this. He goes, and the Big Mac. And he's like, what the?
It's pretty funny
movie.
movie.
It's hilarious.
Elizabeth Hurley is actually like I don't care for her as an actress, but like that one actually showed some of her more comedic.
Well,
like,
it works. Same thing
Yeah.
that she did in like Austin Powers, right?
Right, yeah.
Very dry, but I mean that works. It works for those.
Yeah, but she was more of the pretty face in that, whereas in I think in Bedazzled she played more of a role. You know what I mean? Like she played the devil. She was funny, and
It's definitely funny.
so
Yeah.
I thought she was good in that movie. Where she wasn't put in movies for her acting talents. Let's put it like that.
The only thing I remember is that and Austin Powers. And in Austin Powers, I thought she did good because she was kind of like the authoritative, like, you know.
Yeah.
I thought she did okay, but I don't think I know anything else. What else has she been in?
I don't know. All I know is that's exactly what I'm saying. She's not known for her acting talent. She's just a pretty face.
Yeah.
So.
And getting cheated on by Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant? Really?
Yeah, they were married. You remember when he, like, hired the prostitute or whatever?
No, I don't remember. How long ago was this?
Oh, I don't remember. It was like the 90s or something. I just remember seeing a picture of the prostitute, and no offense to anyone, but, like, I was like, you're married to Elizabeth Hurley, dude. What's your fucking problem?
Right.
That's all I could
Maybe
think.
she wasn't, giving him the business.
Maybe. Maybe he liked it that way, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
All right, Ramis admitted that if he had wanted a career in acting, it would have been a tough road, saying at one time, I'm still not interested in auditioning and having people tell me that my nose is too big. Well...
Thanks, Lorne Michaels. He was a really good actor.
Yeah, well, they don't say it, but I cast movies and I know what I say when people leave the room.
Well, never
If
mind,
I were
Harold.
acting now, I'd probably get all the roles Jeff Goldblum turned down. Wow.
Okay, Harold, I was sticking up for you, but...
Well, I think he was being funny.
No, I know. It's just like he said, I cast movies. Like, oh, okay.
Like people walking out of the room like, wow, she has a flat ass.
Did you see his nose?
Yeah.
Harold, really?
Harold, really? Look in the mirror, bro. Ramis lived in Brentwood, California with his wife, Erica, and their 2 sons. He has a daughter from a previous marriage until he decided to move his brood back to his hometown of Chicago. It was there that he developed autoimmune inflammatory vasculitis. Vasculitis? Sure.
Vasculitis?
Sure, yeah. That could be it. A rare disease that involves swelling of blood vessels in his 60s. At the age of 69 on February 24th, 2014, he died from complications related to the disease. There you go. That's Harold Ramis.
He's dead.
Yeah, he died.
He's grass.
You are the most insensitive little fuck I've ever met.
I am not.
That's terrible.
I am being sensitive.
He brought joy to a lot of wonderful... Well, maybe
That
not.
man is responsible for 90% of my childhood. And let me tell you, I'm not afraid, or I'm not ashamed to admit it, when they did the whole afterlife thing, they had me bawling over him.
Yeah, that was a pretty good...
That was
and they did
amazing.
it well. They did
They
it
did
very
it
well.
They did do
amazingly.
it.
They did it
Yeah.
respectfully.
That might have been my favorite part of that movie, because like most people are like, "Oh, how cringy they're bringing him." Like, I don't know, dude. I think they did him a pretty good.
They did.
Service.
They did a
Like, they did a
great
really good
send off for
job.
him. They modeled that entire movie around his character,
Right.
and I loved it. I loved Afterlife. I thought that they did a perfect job. Wonderful.
So favorite Harold Ramis movie. It could be directed, written,
Caddyshack.
acted.
Still Caddyshack.
Not Ghostbusters.
Mm-mm.
Wow. Okay.
That's more like, I guess, okay, for him as an actor, I love him in that movie. But I think for him, he really shines as his directing.
He did Meatballs. Oh, he wrote Meatballs.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? He loved to direct, and he really shines as a director.
Right.
So I'm going to pick something he directed. Now, for my personal preferences, yes, Ghostbusters is number 1.
I think that. Oh, he was in Orange County.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was in High Fidelity. He wasn't as good as it gets. He was in Love Affair. I don't know what that is. I forgot he was in Airheads.
Yeah.
He was in Groundhog Day. I think he
directed it. He
Airheads.
directed
Was he in
He directed
Zombieland?
it.
Huh?
It says he was in Zombieland.
I think he was a writer. But don't quote me on that.
Who was... Wait,
Maybe
hold
he
on.
was.
Was he in National Lampoon's Vacation?
No, he was a writer.
There's a lot to pick from, honestly. Writer... I think I'm also going to go with Groundhog Day. I love that. It's close with Year One. because year one is hilarious because of all the biblical stuff about it and everything. Like the part where who were the brothers? David and was it David and who were the two brothers? The one killed the other brother.
Oh, that's shit.
Oh, it's Cain and
Abel.
Cain and Abel.
God.
That whole scene is fucking hilarious. You killed your brother. No, I didn't. This shit's great. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Caddyshack for sure. What about you?
Ghostbusters, I guess.
What about you?
It's Caddyshack.
Caddyshack. Caddyshack. Yeah. Have you ever seen Caddyshack?
No.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should
Caddyshack's
probably watch
hilarious.
that. That movie is fucking hilarious. And the thing about it is, it's the first of its kind. That's another reason I picked it. Is it's the first of its kind. There is no movie. There is no overarching story. Nobody leaves that movie better or
Yeah.
worse than they started. It's
It's just a
literally-
movie of
It's centered around golf
Yeah.
and around this country club and these characters in this country club.
I forgot that Rodney Dangerfield's in the movie.
Oh, Rodney Dangerfield kills in that movie.
Yeah,
He's the
he's
best
fucking
part of that
hilarious.
movie. Dude, fucking, when he walks in there, my favorite part in the movie, my
Talking about
absolute
the hat?
the hat. The
Yeah.
hat is my favorite part of that movie. He's like, oh, who would want a hat that ugly? It's hideous. It's terrible. Looks good on you, though. It's so fucking funny.
I love Rodney Dangerfield.
No shit.
All right, let's go ahead and move on here. Let's get into that movie. Hold on, I gotta get Harold off of there. Sorry, bud. You can't be here for the
Bye,
rest.
Harold.
Let's talk about the movie.
Oh, cracking my back. All right, this week we watched Ghostbusters from 1984. Karen, plot synopsis.
After losing their posts at university, 3 parapsychology professors go into business as Ghostbusters, who fight against ghouls, hobgoblins, and supernatural pests of all kinds. After they have found a gateway to another dimension, the evil gets released upon the city. The 3 professors now have to save New York from complete destruction. Do I have to go through everybody? We know who's in this movie.
We all
right?
we know
Everybody
who's
knows who's in this
fucking
movie.
If you haven't
It's a-
seen Ghostbusters, come on.
I
Get
mean,
real. What are you doing with your life?
really.
Jackson did watch this movie for the first time with us last
Oh,
night.
Jack watched the first one, then he had to watch the second one again.
Hmm.
And
That's what he asked me too. He goes, "How many of these movies are there?" Like, well, there's these 2 originals, and then there's a remake with all females. We don't watch that one. I said, but then there's the 2 new ones that came out recently, and I was like, those are okay. I was like, but really the important ones are the first 2. He's like, well, is the second one as good as the first? I was like, I personally think that they're both good. I said, I might like the second one a little bit more. I said, but most people like the first one more. So,
no, I kind of like the second one. I mean, I like them both, but like, I kind of like the second one. But like, I don't know. To me, I liked Afterlife and Frozen Empire.
I liked it
I
too.
think they're canon.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
good
yeah,
with
I
them.
consider them canon.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that
Yeah.
that them being as involved as much as they are, like Bill Murray and all them,
Mm-hmm.
is a testimony to how they feel about them.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, I am totally.
Well, they were involved a little bit too with the fucking female remake too.
They were signed on as guest cast,
Right. I agree that the new ones
but they are
canon.
in it
Yeah,
for
they're in it.
Afterlife, and
Yeah.
not just in it like.
But they're
as-
playing themselves everything. Yeah.
It's not just that. Like, I think was it Dan Aykroyd wrote the screenplay for Frozen Empire?
I think he did. Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying. And the thing I really liked about Frozen Empire is that they had a brand new bad guy. Like, how many times have we
I
seen
did like
Gozer?
that.
And how many times have we seen?
And
this?
Gozer was already back in Afterlife, and
Yeah.
then which don't get me wrong, I think that
They did a great job. I think
Olivia
that was-
Wilde was a great Gozer,
and I think that they did that as a closing of the chapter, right?
Yeah.
They had Egon as the centerpiece, and so I didn't think that Gozer was overdone by having Gozer in it, but like having a brand new bad guy. Perfect.
I thought it was a good bad guy too. I thought it was a
very
good,
good
new
bad guy.
element. And I like that.
Yeah.
It was a little bit. I think the movie was just a little bit all over the place for me, and it was kind of like it was everywhere.
Didn't bother me. The only real
Like they had a
issues-
bunch of ideas that were spitballing, like, oh, we'll add a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and it's just like, well,
hate me for this all you want, I guess, but like the only thing I really had any issue with was like, oh, we had to throw in a gay character, and she's gonna fall in love with a ghost. Okay.
Yeah, they kind of shoehorn that a little bit, but nowadays, man, what do you expect?
I know.
There's a lot
I
of
know.
kids out there that like
It just
are,
feels
you know,
it feels forced though, and like I don't want anything like that in those movies. I guess like no, I don't care if she's gay. I don't care if we have 10 gay characters or 20 gay characters. It's just when they shoehorn in, like you said, just that one, and they shoehorn in this little like story that doesn't feel like it's part of anything until I guess it is part of it. A ghost is gay. Like, why do we have to have that? Like, have her have a girlfriend or have her have
yeah, I guess
a girl
I
she's
see what
interested
you're
in
saying,
school. Like, it,
but these days, man, I'm getting so used to it at this point that I could care less. Like, I know that they're not going to stop doing it, so I'm accepting it. Also, it's just one of those things
make it
where,
feel natural. That's all I'm saying.
right? Yeah,
Make it natural.
feel more natural.
Yeah.
But I think one of the biggest things about it in that case is, like I said, things were already all over the place in the movie for me as it was.
Yeah, you were already like at.
So it was already like it was already, as Madison would say, overstimulating.
I can understand
I
that.
wouldn't
It was
say
a lot.
that. I
So
would
then
make fun of
to
people
throw in
for
this like
saying
whole,
I did have a problem with that too, to a certain extent, where it was like, okay, we have more. You can make more movies. You don't have to throw it all in here.
yeah,
And that was like when they went to the whatever society that they were trying to create,
yeah.
and they were looking at all these ghosts that were like
Well,
locked up, and then all this stuff that they were trying to create and do, and it's
Yeah.
like, don't throw it at us all at once, man.
yeah,
Just
and
give
then
us
on
a
top
little,
of that,
you know.
like, and with all that, they never even said how they transitioned from living in the house out in the middle of nowhere to being in New York City and being Ghostbusters. Like, how did that come into fruition?
I think that's just sort of an implication between those two movies, just because like at the end of the first one, you knew they weren't staying, and you had that whole scene with
Yeah,
with
but I mean,
Winston.
like, if you think about it, though, I don't even know why we're talking about this movie. We're not even talking.
I don't know.
But anyway, it's just we'll talk about it another time.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it another time. We got
I
bigger
was-
fish to fry today.
I was getting ready to hit.
Yeah, like sorry.
Put that cookie
We
down.
go into tirades about movies we really like.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, Madison, are you gonna read the movie? Or are we gonna? Oh yeah, we gotta do watch recommend. Are you gonna? Would you watch and would you recommend?
I don't know who doesn't know about this movie, but yeah.
It's true. I mean, it's kind of like the Ninja Turtles, or actually, I don't even know if it's on a higher level than Ninja
It is
Do
Turtles.
on
you
a
know
higher
how
level.
hard it was to find bad reviews?
Well, yeah, because this is part of people's childhood.
I know, but we've watched other movies that are sort of similar. That they're beloved movies, and that was insane to try and get bad reviews.
If you haven't seen the Ghostbusters, by all means, and good lord, what are you doing with your life? Go watch the damn movie. Everybody's seen it. It's a good movie. Of course, I'd recommend you go watch it, and of course, I would watch it again.
Yeah,
it's the Ghostbusters.
That goes without saying for me. It's a yes and it's a yes.
I don't even know why we're doing this fucking podcast, to be honest with you, because we're all going to gloat on it. That's all we're going to do.
I don't know. There's no, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. There's this whole fucking movie that sucks.
How you doing? Yeah, right.
Yes,
You're going to get
yes.
stabbed by your sister.
You know
It
what
won't
I
be
always
the
found
first
weird about
time.
these movies? The first one came out the year I was born. The second one came out the year he was born. It's just weird to me.
Why is that weird?
I don't know. It's just weird to me.
The second
So,
one
like
was
they're,
about a
they're
baby.
they're two movies that I just really love, and like the year it came out was the year I was born, and so was like Nightmare on Elm Street, and then the second one in the series, which I really love, my brother was born in that year. It's just weird to me. It's like a small world kind of
Yeah,
thing.
but it's hard to say that, like, from 84 to, like, 93, 94.
89.
No, I'm saying, like, from
Oh.
between those years are, like, the pinnacle of great movies.
Oh yeah.
So, like, I mean, it's not, you could go through any one of those years and you're going
but
to
it's
find,
a franchise that I
right.
find very, like, I love that franchise. So it's
Right.
like just strange to me.
Yeah, well, we all got our thing.
It was about a baby.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's
And I remember
go
looking
ahead.
at all those baby shit like with him.
that was
and I
possessed.
was think like, oh god, yeah, I remember Eric having that. I remember Eric having
Maybe he
that.
was possessed.
No, like the baby stuff, like when she puts him in the bathtub and they got that little floaty thing or whatever.
See, I remember
like-
more from the second movie than I do the first one.
Really,
Mm-hmm.
Baby's gone berserk.
I don't remember. Who was the baby's dad in the second one?
her ex-husband.
When was she married?
between movies.
Yeah.
She explains it. She talks because he says something about how come we didn't get married or whatever, and she's like,
because you never grew up or some shit.
no. She says, you never asked, and every time I brought it up, you would get drowsy and fall asleep.
That sucks.
Drowsy and fall asleep. You mean drunk?
And then it was like something about when you started introducing me as the old ball and chain. That's when I left.
So needy. You know what kind of person you were getting
like,
involved
he was
with.
like, as she was walking away. I know because I just watched it with Jack. So,
all right. Anyway, Madison's going to read the movie and enjoy.
Jeez, Pete's. Okay. After Columbia University parapsychology professors Peter Venkman?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ray Stans and Egon Spengler experienced their first encounter with a ghost at the New York Public Library. The university dean dismisses the credibility of their paranormal-focused research and fires them. The trio responds by establishing Ghostbusters, a paranormal investigation and elimination service operating out of a disused firehouse. They develop high-tech nuclear-powered equipment to capture and contain ghosts, although business is initially slow.
I just want to know where they thought, hey, let's build these, these nuclear weapons and
nuclear
everything like that.
accelerators.
Yeah, and not worry about getting fined or arrested or thrown in jail.
Things were different back then, though.
I mean, but
I
still.
mean, honestly, they didn't.
It's like having a nuclear reactor on your back.
Yeah, literally.
And nobody cared, though. Nobody cared about that kind of stuff back then.
They didn't have that shit licensed, nothing. Like, the EPA's in their fucking building, like, well, yeah, of course they're in your building. They're wondering how the hell, what you're doing with all these ghosts you're apparently capturing. Like, you don't just keep...
It's a weird flex, though, for it to be the EPA.
It is a weird flex, yeah.
I mean... Like, don't get me wrong, it works well into the plot and everything.
I think something more along the lines like the FBI would be in that bitch. Like,
yeah, or something. Well, maybe not the FBI, but like it would start with the police. You would think.
No, I feel like the FBI would be quickly investigating. The FBI would.
CIA.
I think that they would have.
Central Intelligence not so much. FBI deals more with that shit.
There's jurisdiction and everything else. I think the FBI has to be called in by the local police.
Not if they catch wind of something, though. They can make their own. It's New York City. If they're going to know that like 4 guys are running around capturing ghosts.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, and this shit's legitimate because obviously they're making a lot of money.
I'm only talking from the perspective that I know that there's like jurisdictional stuff.
Right.
And if you roll in on someone else's jurisdiction without having been invited, there can be.
But I mean, they're going to be like, hey, we're the FBI. We're going to go investigate these guys. What the hell is the fucking New York Police
they may be able
to
to go into like the cops and be like, hey.
We're going to investigate
we're gonna do this,
whether you like it or not, is what they're going to say. And, and why that would be the one I would suspect would go in and investigate, not the fucking EPA.
Yeah.
Like,
I assume probably maybe they thought there's either one or two things. One, since it's a contained nuclear reaction inside, that they didn't think that they'd have to. Because, I mean, a microwave is a contained nuclear reaction.
Well, then the dude just shuts the power off and completely releases. Like, what would you do if, like, your power failed?
Well, that's.
I assume they have generators, but what if your generator fails?
Well, they shut it off from the main. I'm sure that they had several backups, and if you shut it down from the main, there's nothing you can do. Like, that's literally the switch.
Right.
But, yeah, my only explanation would be that they thought that they didn't have to since it was a contained nuclear reaction. And then, 2, I mean, he was an asshole.
Oh, 100%. He always plays an asshole.
2's much more important. So we got William Atherton. He always plays a dick.
Yeah, he always plays a dick. I bet he's a really nice guy in real life.
He actually is.
All right, go ahead.
After a paranormal encounter in her apartment, cellist Dana Barrett.
Celloist. Or cellist.
CELL. There's no H.
I know,
there's no
it's
H.
just a C.
Cellist.
Have you ever seen cello? CELLO?
You know what a cello is?
It's an instrument.
It's an instrument that you play like this.
Yeah, it looks like a big violin mixed with a harp.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So she's a cellist.
I know what a cello is.
I was just helping.
It's bass playing, I think.
No, it's a cello. You play like a violin.
Yeah, but it's like lower, ain't it? The sound.
It is.
Well,
So
yeah.
it's a bass.
Sure, yeah. Well, it's still a stringed instrument.
I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a bass. It's not like a
It makes a low noise, so
lower
it's
noise.
a part of the
It's-
bass
Yeah, I get what you're
family
saying.
of yeah.
You're looking at me like you're not.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you were.
No, you're not.
Because you were arguing with me.
About what?
Don't even start with me.
Are you happy or are you gonna fuck me up?
Debating. Cellist Dana Barrett calls the Ghostbusters. She recounts.
Sorry. Her
Huh?
last name's Barrett.
Barrett.
Well, Lottie
She
frickin'
says it about 75 times in the movie.
Dana Barrett.
Okay. She recounts witnessing a demonic dog-like creature in her refrigerator utter a single word, Zool. Ray
How do you confuse that with a dog? Or it's like, it's a dog. It's not a fucking dog. That is a beast.
Fucking-
I think it's the joke,
It
right?
is
Because
totally
you
the
hear
joke.
you hear it more than once, and then you hear him called a bear.
We got a bear.
He said there was a bear in his apartment. You know, that's a total testimony though to the great special effects in this movie, because when I said something about like the puppet, like one of the times when it's just like, I think it was when it was laying on the bed and had the coats on it, I said something about the puppet, and Jack was like, "They're puppets," and I was like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, they're puppets when they're not, when you don't
CGI.
see all of them." And he's like, "Well, what are they when they're not?" And I was like, "Usually it's claymation or stop motion,
And
depends
it's
on
integrated
what,
into the movie.
yeah." I said it depends on what they're trying to do, and he was like, "I so thought that was CGI, like CGI nowadays," and I was like, "No."
CGI didn't exist back then.
That's what I told him. I was like, that wasn't a thing
Yeah.
then. And he was like, "That is amazing." So it was like, you know,
Fooling them kids.
yeah, you know, it's a testimony. What happens when you do things right? Just saying.
Ray and Egon research Zool and details of Dana's building while Peter inspects her apartment and unsuccessfully attempts to seduce her. The Ghostbusters are hired to remove a gluttonous ghost?
Gluttonous, yeah.
Gluttonous?
What is the word? Is it gelatinous?
Slimer. No.
Gluttonous. He eats.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, he's gelatinous too because he slimes. and-
Gelatinous.
G-E.
Do I look like a total idiot? Don't answer
Do you want me to
that.
answer that?
Gelatinous. There's not even an E in there. And the L's after the G.
Fuck your own face!
Where's the spatula
It's not a spatula, it's a
at?
spoon.
Can I have that?
What are you going to do with it?
Well, I'm not standing up. The Ghostbusters are hired to remove a gluttonous ghost Slimer from the Sedgwick
Sedgwick, yeah.
hotel, having failed to properly test their equipment. Egon warns the group that crossing the energy streams of the proton pack weapons could cause a catastrophic explosion.
One of the most underrated parts in this movie is that elevator scene, where the three of them are in that elevator, and
And
he's
there's
like,
no smoking behind him and shit.
yeah, and he's like, I regret not having tried these out, you know, and he's like, I blame myself. And he goes, so do I. And then like they switch them on, and they both kind of like move over, like that's gonna do anything.
Yeah. A little sketchy.
Yeah. They capture the ghost and deposit it in an ecto-containment unit under the firehouse. Supernatural activity rapidly increases across the city, and the Ghostbusters become famous. They hire a fourth member, Winston Zeddemore,
I don't know about you, but
to
his
cope
interview,
with the growing demand.
his interview process was like, he was just like, all right, you're hired. I want to be a fucking Ghostbuster.
No
Right.
shit.
Like if that's all it takes, I just go in and like show my face and like, all right, you're hired.
Dude, if I'd have seen somebody hiring for that, like when I was younger,
100%,
I would
I'm in.
have been running for the
I'll
job.
do it
like,
for free.
I don't
You
know.
don't
how
even
free-
have to pay me.
Well, wait,
dude.
you guys are gonna have room and board though. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, like I can live here and just eat and go ghost bust. I'm in.
I'm in.
What else do I need out of life? I mean, I get to hunt ghosts and I get
Sleep
free
in a
room and board.
firehouse.
Yeah, sleep in a
Go
firehouse.
down the pole.
I get to ride the pole down and I get to ride that badass car.
Uh-huh.
I'm in.
No.
Occasionally they'll let me drive it. I know that. I
They
know
better
they
be
will.
paying me still.
No, I don't need paid. That's
I
all
do.
I need. That's life for me right there.
Look, I would have never had kids.
No,
I would have been in that firehouse. I would have been.
I would have lived there.
That would have been that would have been the end. That's exactly
and,
where
and
I'd live
ghost
and
hunting
die.
would have been like crack for me. Like, when's my next fix?
Yeah, I know.
What's someone gonna call?
Like, what do we got, guys?
Who you gonna call? Call this crack.
Be like, it's a quiet night. No.
When is someone else gonna get possessed? Because it ain't gonna be me.
I'd
You know
been,
what we need? We need it out of their Zool, man.
I'd have been the scaredy one. Like as soon as some like ghost would have came out, I'd been the one. Fuck! Pow!
He'd be like, this is a joke, right? Then he gets the job and he goes in. He's like, this is not a joke. I'm out. I'm sorry.
I quit. You can keep my paycheck. We weren't paying you.
Who you gonna call? Somebody else.
Somebody else.
One of my favorite parts of the second one is when Janine answers the phone and she's like, well, we're closed until after the new year. Well, just don't go in there.
Well, just don't go in there.
You remember when you had that chance to work for those ghost guys?
Mhm.
And
I did for a little while.
And you're like, you try to get me to be like the camera guy. I was like, yeah, I'd be the camera guy. As soon as something would have like
I would
fucking
totally
popped
be the
out.
camera guy.
I was telling
I'm
her, I
just
was like,
telling you that
as
right
soon
now.
as something
If
would
you
have
ever
I'm
decide
sorry.
you want to venture down that road again, I'm your camera guy.
I'm thinking about it, actually.
I will
What are
be
you
your
talking
camera
as
guy.
soon as she said that,
Ghost
she's like,
hunting.
I said,
Because I don't
With
believe
who?
in that shit, so I won't get scared.
No, you do need a good skeptic. I'm a skeptic to start. Like, because there's been a couple of them that I've done that, like, for example, there was one that I did, and I'll be real quick, but there was this one guy that kept talking about this cold spot in his living room, and so we did everything we normally did. We checked everything. We did our normal stuff, but I was taking like the heat camera, the heat sensor camera, and I was walking around, and I went specifically into that area and pointed it straight down at the ground, and you could see a grate under the carpet, like where the air conditioning was coming up. And somebody, when they had redone it or whatever, they just went right over it. So that's an example of why it's important to be skeptical to start with.
Yeah.
well,
'cause
see,
sometimes there's a logical explanation.
And people
Yeah.
who live there are just convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do the investigation as if you have to go into one of those investigations as a skeptic, regardless of how you really
You should have asked
feel.
them, well, during the winter, is it a hot spot? Because I assume your heat comes up through there,
Right,
too.
right.
so like I
Well, they
told
had just
her,
moved in. It was summertime.
Oh.
yeah, so like I told her, I said, if something would like popped up or done something, you would see the camera run to hit a wall, and then you hear me in the background. Fuck! Ow!
Yeah. Well, we were going to get some really good evidence here, but
But our cameraman bitched out.
At least you
can
got some
see-
comedy.
You can see the top part of the vapor right there before he starts running.
At least we got some good comedy.
Turns out somebody was just vaping.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Suspicious of the Ghostbusters Environmental Protection Agency inspector Walter Peck asks to evaluate their equipment, but Peter rebuffs him. Egon warns that the containment unit is nearing capacity and supernatural energy is surging across the city. Peter
Tell him
meets
about
with
the Twinkie.
Tell him about the Twinkie.
Peter meets with Dana and informs her. Oh my god! Informs her that Zul was a demigod worshipped as a servant to Gozer the Gozerian.
Gozerian.
A shape-shifting god of destruction. Upon returning home, she is possessed by Zul, a similar entity that possesses her neighbor, Luis.
Lewis.
That's what I meant to say, and then my brain shut down after I said Luis.
I get it.
Louis Tully.
He's the best part of the whole movie.
Tully.
Tully.
He's easily the best
Such
part.
a tool.
He's my favorite part of the whole movie. Especially whenever he becomes possessed. He just...
But, so, since we see Vince later with Paul Rudd, is he just goofy in general?
Who?
Zul, or Vince Clortho, the possessor. You have Zul and you have Vince.
I would say so. Like, he's just not all there.
He's got to be, because Paul Rudd was exactly the same when he was Vince.
Why wouldn't he be?
Well, I mean, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, it's funny because you think of a demigod being like I don't know, serious.
Yeah.
And then you see Vince running around, like, sniffing popcorn and talking to horses, and it's funny as fuck.
I am the key master.
My favorite is, like, she's like, would you like some coffee, Lewis? Yes, have some.
Yes,
I
have
don't
some.
know. Would I? Yes, have some.
Yeah, I'll take them.
Yes.
Yes, have some. I love Rick Moranis, dude.
Mhm.
If I could choose a dad, there's a few on my list, but I think Rick Moranis is definitely on there. Could you imagine having him for a fucking dad?
I like my dad, but if I had to pick one, Kurt Russell.
Yeah, you said this before.
Yep.
Mine would definitely be Mr. Miyagi, but that's not the point.
Mr. Miyagi.
I love Mr. Miyagi. That dude is the best dad anybody could ask for. He can teach you karate and teach you how to clean properly, and he's just a sweet dude. And he's all about like morals and lessons.
That's what Goku is for. Except it's not morals and lessons.
No, 'cause
it's
Goku is
flying
dumb.
and fighting.
Goku is dumb.
And he's a
Goku-
terrible father.
He's a
hilarious.
terrible
Goku
father.
is not a dad.
hilarious. You know what? He might be a terrible father, but at least that kid grew up and went to school.
Yeah,
because
because
of
of
his
his
mother.
mom.
Yeah.
I don't want Chi-Chi as a mom. I just want Goku to be my dad so he can teach me how to fly and how to fight bad guys.
That was Piccolo.
Yeah, Piccolo
Yeah,
definitely did a lot of that. Yeah.
Literally.
Literally.
Everything. What are you talking
Well,
about?
they spent some time in the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah.
For like
Goku and Gohan. Well, it was technically a year.
It was like
But-
30
Oh,
minutes.
a year out of his whole
30
life.
minutes, but it was like it was.
It was an hour. Sorry, an hour.
It was
Okay.
a year of their life, or 3 years or something.
Okay, but if you don't know your dad your whole life, and everybody else is teaching you everything else, and all you hear is about how great your dad is because of what he does or whatever, and then you get a year with him in a chamber, whoopee!
It's pretty sad. I'm just saying, I don't want
care.
Goku.
I'd be like, I don't
for a
even
dad.
know you,
still
and now I
want
gotta spend
Goku
a
as
year
my
with
dad.
you?
Yeah, I wouldn't want Goku for a dad.
I still want Goku as a dad. I
Oh,
don't
he's
care.
such a bad father.
He's a terrible father.
I
wanna
shouldn't
be
know
able
this
to-
much.
I want to be able to turn into a giant mouth laser monkey.
Okay, you
I
are a
do.
mouth laser monkey. Go
he
ahead. Reed.
is.
No, you are.
Oh.
Wow.
Peter arrives and finds the possessed Dana or Zool claiming to be the gatekeeper. Lewis. My brain stopped.
Tully.
Not Luis. Lewis.
Lewis, you said it.
Is brought to Egon by police officers and claims he is Vince Clortho, the key master. The Ghostbusters agree to keep the pair separated. Peck returns with law enforcement and city workers to have the Ghostbusters arrested and their containment unit deactivated, causing an explosion that releases the captured ghosts. Lewis escapes in the confusion and makes his way to the apartment building to join Dana. In jail, Ray and Egon reveal Ivo Shandor,
Mm-hmm.
leader of the Gozer
Worshippers. I got you.
worshipping.
Oh, worshiping.
Worshipping.
Okay.
That was so bad. Worshipping cult in the early 20th century designed Dana's building to function as an antenna to attract and concentrate spiritual energy to summon Gozer and bring about the apocalypse. Faced with supernatural chaos across the city, the Ghostbusters convince the mayor to release them. The Ghostbusters
Yes,
travel.
it is true. This man has no dick.
Easily the best line in the movie. I also like the when he's like, you know, if nothing happens, fine, we'll go quietly, we'll enjoy it or whatever, you know, and then he's like, but if I'm right, you will have saved the lives of 10 million voters.
He's like,
In the second one, there's a line where he's like, almost half of us voted for you in the last election.
The Ghostbusters travel to a hidden temple located on top of the building as Dana and Luis open the gate between dimensions and transform into demonic dogs. Gozer appears as a woman and attacks the Ghostbusters, then disappears when they attempt to retaliate.
aim for the flat top.
Her disembodied voice demands the Ghostbusters choose the form of the Destructor.
Oh my god.
Ray inadvertently recalls a beloved corporate mascot
Easily
from his
Ray's
childhood.
greatest
Always
moment.
Ray.
When she says the Destructor has been chosen, and all you hear is Bill Murray going, "Oh, wait a minute.
We didn't choose
We
shit.
didn't choose anything. I didn't choose anything." And everybody's like, "Nope." And all you see is Ray just kind of
Like putting his head
backing
down.
up, you know. And they're like, he's like, "What did you do, Ray?"
Like, I couldn't help myself.
It just popped in there.
It just popped in there.
What?
I tried to think of the only thing that could never hurt us.
And then he comes around that corner with that.
It's great.
Yes. I notice you're out laughing. It's funny.
I'm laughing on the inside, Karen.
Right. This big happy monster just.
I'm gonna kill them.
And Gozer reappears as a gigantic Stay Puft Marshmallow Man who begins destroying the city. Against his earlier advice, Egon instructs the team to cross
Nobody
their
steps
pro-time
on that
energy
church in
streams
my
at the
They can
dimensional
yell the
gate.
million ones later.
I love that. Like we totally skipped over. Like, are you a god?
When someone asks
When
if you're
somebody
a god,
asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
That
You
was
always
good.
say yes.
I would have said yes. Yeah. Do you believe me?
Yeah, you obviously say yes. Like, no. Like, then die. Like,
Yeah, she's like, then die. Like, if you're faced with something that is obviously a god by that definition or by a definition, just say you are one too. Like,
Yes,
what's
I
it
am.
gonna hurt? Yeah.
challenge me. I think that was probably
I think that's the one too many. Like that one step you
Yeah.
just went in.
Like,
You know.
all right, you said you're a god. You don't have to challenge the other god.
Right. You can just go. Yeah, I'm the god of standing over here.
I'm the god of not fighting very well.
I'm the god of shutting doors.
I'm the god with no
Bye.
power.
I'm the god that's gonna stand over here and watch.
I'm the god of do whatever you got to do, just don't hurt me.
Alright, the resulting explosion destroys Gozer's avatar, banishing it back to its dimension, and closes the gateway. The Ghostbusters rescue Dana and Louis.
What about though?
Gosh.
We forgot this part
From-
too. The
There's like half a sentence.
I'm sorry.
left.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. The Ghostbusters
What about
rescue
this?
Dana and Louis from the wreckage and are welcomed on the street as heroes.
It's a great ending to the movie.
Oh,
too.
100%.
Such a good ending.
We also skipped the part where, Ray just decided, how they're going around capturing all these ghosts, and Ray's just like, I'll let the succubus go,
That was a dream.
That was a dream.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
it
He
was.
falls out of bed.
Yeah, he falls out of bed.
It shows the like
Really?
weird wavy thing to show
I
you
thought
that
it-
he's asleep.
Because he comes in the office the next day all happy and go lucky.
Because
Well,
he
he
had a nice dream.
Oh, okay.
No, that was a dream.
That was a dream.
I swear it was just...
No, they do the little thing. It wasn't supposed to be, though. Fun fact: it was supposed to be. They go to this fort to bust ghosts, and it's too far to go back, so they stay the night. So that was supposed to be a real thing that happened to him, but then they decided to make it a dream
Oh,
sequence.
okay.
So
Could you imagine getting a BJ from a ghost?
No.
I imagine it's cold.
I couldn't imagine that would be pleasant, really. Because they leave ectoplasm everywhere.
It's lubrication.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
The face you made.
Funny enough, that's probably what they used.
Dude,
They use KY for everything else in these fucking
this
movies.
is true. Dude, the part where he tries to come up with a solution, and he's like, he's a sailor, he's in New York, we get this guy laid, we got no problems.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I don't know about all that. What are you going to get him laid by? The Empire State Building? Well, they're just rub against it a while.
I'm sure they can find something. I mean, he's a marshmallow. He's just a giant marshmallow.
All right. Does anybody got anything they want to cover? All right.
Talk
Well,
about
then,
it,
let's
you know.
move on into it.
Let's rock out this bitch.
Okay. So, before we move into that, if you were a Ghostbuster, which one would you be?
No. Mm-mm. Have someone else pick for you.
Okay. What about Eric?
Ray.
Good one.
I disagree.
Go ahead.
What's the black one's name?
Winston.
Winston. You're Winston.
I can see that too.
You're Winston.
Why?
Sorry, man.
Why? For me, Ray is kind of like the heart, or like the
Yeah, but I could see him more as like the guy who's there. He's kind of the muscle. He really has no fucking idea what's going on.
But yeah, no, that you're right. I think because in the sense that he's just there for a job. Eric would not be interested in the paranormal parts or the.
No, he's just there for a paycheck.
Eric would literally be the guy that when he got arrested, I just work with these guys. Why am I in here?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
That'd
right.
be you. Yeah.
You're right.
You're Winston, dude. Sorry. All right, what
Okay.
about Madison? It's Venkman, dude. I'm
She's
telling you.
Janine.
No, that's Venkman. She's not a Ghostbuster.
Yeah.
That's Venkman. Mouth is always running.
No, it's not.
That mouth is always running.
It's not.
No, because Venkman's kind of vindictive, though. I don't see that in her.
That's
I
what
can
it is.
see her being Janine because Janine's snarky. She's witty. Like, she just has a fight with Venkman. Ghostbusters, what do you want? She's Janine.
Okay, well, what about me?
I'd say the closest one would be Venkman.
For me?
Mm-hmm.
The fuck, why? I don't want to be Venkman.
Well, you don't always run your mouth, but you don't care.
It's true.
If
You
you,
know who I
have
think
something to
you'd be?
say, who?
I think you'd be Harold Ramis.
Egon?
Egon.
I am funnier than Egon.
Okay, yeah, but you're also a critical thinker. You're patient.
No, I don't disagree with you, but like, he's not. I don't know. I think like if you can combine them, I don't want to speak for anyone, but I think it would be like Egon and Venkman.
All right, if you had to be a Ghostbuster and you chose, who would you be? You have to choose.
I'm not as smart as Egon. I'd be Ray.
I want to be Ray. I'd want to be Ray. I love
wanna be
Ray.
ready.
Because
He's
I
my
don't-
favorite one.
To me, I don't
wanna be
have
Ray.
the wit of Venkman. I guess like some people would say I do, but I don't know. I'm not me, so I can't like gauge that very well. But I know I'm not as smart as Egon. I couldn't do what he does. So, but I mean, as a critical thinker, yes, I agree.
I would say as just personality wise.
Yeah.
Like I'm going with Ray. I love Ray. I think.
Oh, if I could pick,
he's
it'd be
my
Ray.
favorite.
I love
You're all
love
gonna
watching
pick
him.
Ray because nobody wants to be the smart guy and nobody wants to be the
It's
guy
not
that hits
that.
on everyone.
No,
I
it's
just
that-
I love Ray's bubbly, goofy kind of
Yeah,
out there kind of
If I
personality.
could pick and be and live up to it, I would be Egon.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
100%. If I could do it,
He's a smart guy, right?
Yeah.
yeah. But I also like. I mean, I like how. I don't know. I like how he is, like, because I think that he's one of those, like, sort of. He doesn't say too much, but if he did, he'd probably put Venkman to shame.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, he's that quiet, like, I don't have to talk because you guys do
You guys
enough
know
for
I'm
me.
yeah
and
that
you know.
and you know I'm the smartest one in this room.
Yeah, and like I love the part. My favorite part with Egon is when the EPA is like, they did this and they did that and they did this and they did that, and nobody has anything to say, and then all of a sudden you see Egon, your mother, like, you know,
Yeah,
like I
he was ready
love
to fight.
I love Egon. He's probably my favorite, and then Venkman, honestly. But like, yeah, I don't know. If I
Ray's
had to
my
pick,
favorite.
if I had to pick, I'd want to be Ray because he works in the car. He usually drives the car.
He looks the coolest smoking cigarette. He's
Ray.
my favorite.
I like
Ray is my favorite.
I think Egon's my favorite.
What about you?
If you could pick,
If I could be any one of them,
Mhm.
probably Venkman.
Venkman. Why? Because he's so witty and snarky and
Mhm.
a smart ass, and it's Bill Murray.
Yeah.
What
well,
about
who
you?
wouldn't want to be Venkman?
I'm good with being
honestly,
Janine.
but- I nailed it with that, didn't I?
Okay.
Whoa!
Whoa. Calm down, crazy.
I'm out.
There's a ghost.
Yeah.
We're talking about Ghostbusters and this.
Shit's moving. All right, let's go ahead and get it. This thing's like right in my face. I look like I'm about to like. Like it's like right there. It's like
It's where it is every week. Quit masturbating my
well,
sword.
it's like there. You know
well,
what I
you
mean?
put
Like,
it there.
I did.
He doesn't like it anymore.
A little bit
I'm
better.
gonna end up kicking it and it's gonna fall.
Is it still?
Well, now you're trying.
Yeah. Well, now
When
it's
is
just
he
weird.
not
It was like right
trying?
there
Fair point.
in my face. All right. Anyway, let's
Always
go ahead
wants to have
and
something
rate
in his
this
mouth.
shit.
Well, he's not happy unless he's got something in his mouth.
I'm happy if he ain't got nothing in his mouth.
Alcohol.
Madison, what did you think of Ghostbusters?
I liked it. It was pretty good.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's
She
gonna be
doesn't
my
do it now.
opening-
Like
It's gonna be my opening every time. What are you talking about? I don't know how else to display my thoughts if I don't start with that.
it's the opener.
It was good. I've loved the Ghostbusters theme song since I was a kid, so I used
It
to
is
play the
very
Just
catchy.
Dance to it all the time. It was funnier than I remembered and less boring than I remembered, because when I was a kid, I really wasn't that into it. So,
It is a fast-paced movie. It doesn't really
Dude, I love that movie when I was a
diddle-daddle
kid.
around. There's no fluff. It just moves right in. So
I love that movie when I was a kid. I had everything.
Thank you for explaining that to me.
Everything that you can buy, Ghostbusters wise, I had it. And Jack learned the dance for that movie when he was 3. Not because I made him. He just did. I have videos.
Why would you make your kid do that?
Some people would say I would just because I love the Ghostbusters so much. All I did was let him watch the movie.
Okay.
He was like
I
3.
watched her do it. She was throwing shit at him.
Real though. I do that to my little brothers too.
When he messed up, she threw something at his feet.
Get it right, you little prick!
get it right, motherfucker, or you're out of the family.
Watch the glass!
There's glass where you're not supposed to be stepping.
All right, come on.
Anyways.
There were mouse traps everywhere.
Oh, God.
I love the characters. Ray was really funny. Igor?
Egon.
Egon.
Igor.
Igor!
Igor!
Is it Egon?
It's
It's
Egon.
Egon. E-G-O-N.
The smart
Egon.
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was funny too. I like him. And then the main guy, I didn't really care for him, not gonna lie.
What was that?
What was his name?
Venkman?
Vampire
Venkman.
movie. Igor.
I didn't really like him that much. He was kind of.
Oh, no, you're talking
Douchebag.
yeah, Frankenstein.
Janine
Yeah.
was entertaining too. So I like the characters. There's nothing wrong there. I like this movie. It was good. I probably won't watch it for a while. Shut up.
Okay, what's your fucking score then, man?
I'm
You
still
keep
talking.
saying the same thing over and
I'm
over
sti-
again.
no,
I like
I
this
don't-
movie. It was good. 2 seconds later, I like this movie. It was
You're gonna
good.
break shit now.
I like this movie. It was good. But I don't know what I was saying because someone interrupted me to lecture me about what I was saying.
I'm sure you're going to say it again.
I like this movie. It was good.
See? There's 7.
I heard the
Scusi,
characters.
scusi.
There was nothing wrong with the characters.
Oh, I probably won't watch this movie for a while just because I probably won't. Not unless the boys make
This
me.
was good, but not that good.
I can't watch it all the time. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, it was good, but it wasn't that good.
But it's probably because I watched it a lot when I was a kid.
Okay, what's your score?
They used to have it playing all the time in Mississippi when I was a kid, but I never, I don't know if I ever actually sat through and watched the whole thing. Ada did. She did all the time, but I was never interested in it too much. But I still had, little memories from it and everything. I always sat down and watched the second one, though, because I like the second one. Because there was a baby and bubble gum coming out of the streets.
Definitely wasn't bubblegum, but okay.
Anyways, I'll give it a 7.
I know in the second one, the goo, all the slime and ooze or whatever, I wanted to play with that stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't we
Exactly.
all?
You know, the thing that killed me about that slime, though, is that, it looked different from scene to scene. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
It'd be like, when it was the river, it was like bubble gum. And then, when it was coming up out of the grates, it was like this pink water.
Yeah.
Or,
kinda,
like,
yeah.
goo. You know, it wasn't the same color and it wasn't
Yeah.
the same consistency.
Yeah, it's weird.
Maybe that's what happens when you have small portions of it.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe when it's concentrated, I don't know.
It was like bubbly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
Kind of like the eggs and
Put it in the toaster.
The eggs that cook themselves on the
Yeah.
counter. Yeah.
which made no sense, but okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's
for
not supposed to
me,
make sense.
this movie's good. I liked it.
Good. As you should. I appreciate your
I've liked this
comment.
movie since I was a kid. It's nostalgia for me. It's that song.
What I don't get, though... Sorry, go ahead.
We all do it to each other, so it is a thing, I guess.
He does it to me more than I do it to him, though.
That's fair.
Anyway, I know you want to say something really bad. Fucking dick. You good?
Yeah.
You good?
Man, you are
Shit,
one
what did I
pathetic.
read?
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? No! I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Speaking of Rick Moranis. Anyway, this movie's awesome. I liked it a lot. I still like it today. The second one's probably better. I don't remember. But this one's still awesome. She wants to so bad.
She does.
But I'm giving it a 7.5.
Is that all?
That's it.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Jesus
Karen, go
Christ,
ahead.
you said the same thing like 30 friggin' times.
I
Are
did
you sure
not.
you're done?
I'm done. I'm
Are you
finished.
sure?
I wrote mine down because I didn't want to forget any of my thoughts. So bear with me if I can read
This
my
is
handwriting.
almost 40 years of thoughts, people, on a page and a half.
What makes this movie great and rewatchable is not the great one-liners, it's the quippy ones that almost get missed. This reminds me of the time you tried to drill a hole in your head, and that would have worked if you hadn't stopped me.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff is like what... It speaks to like a larger story, a relationship that those guys have had that, you know, goes beyond what
It makes you wonder how much of this is ad-libbed.
90%.
Yeah.
It's like 90% of it is ad-libbed. But it shows you what goes... or what kind of relationship they've had, and it's been a years long thing. Like they're not just meeting up for the first time or anything. Like
Right.
it shows shows a relationship there that you don't get to see played out on screen.
It helps that they knew each other going into this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It helps them with their on-screen chemistry
Absolutely,
and things like that.
You
so.
see it bleed into it,
Mhm.
and it gives you that impression that they were friends long before this became a thing.
Exactly.
And then they speak to things that have happened in the past. You know, like this reminds me of the time you tried to. You know, and it's not just that, it's all these one-liners, like another good one that I can think of, because it goes under the radar. Most people don't even notice it, but it's hilarious to me, is the dropping off or picking up line. When the loony bin rolls up with Vin's, and she's like, she looks at the car, and then she goes dropping off or picking up. Like, this is a normal thing, you know, and that is hilarious to me. There's legit scary scenes, like the hands coming out of the chair and grabbing Dana. That shit scared the hell out of me when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when Ray's talking about revelation in the Bible, and when Winston looks at him and says, well, you know, maybe the dead are coming out of their graves, and that's why we've been so busy. Like, in a movie that's primarily comedy, those scenes are jarring, but not in a bad way.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Like, it's beautiful how it's done.
It gives it a little shock value to the movie. I did like that scene.
Yeah. And you have these little, like, jump scares that pop in there. You know, the one with the librarian right at the beginning. It has a lot of those horror elements, but it's not a scary movie.
Right.
But when they do throw those horror elements in there, they work really well, and they lend to the rest of the movie rather than sort of jarring you out of it, right? Lastly, I'll talk about, like, cinematography and the soundtrack. So, like, I'm not talking about the theme, but certain songs and how they, like, hit during moments. Like, especially the scene where all of the ghosts...
Yeah, I was going to mention
that song. Now, if you listen to the total song, because I've listened to the soundtrack before, because I'm like, ooh, I like that song. They're not good in their whole.
It's good for that scene.
But that scene...
Yeah.
Beautifully done.
There's a lot of songs like that. You'll like watch something like, oh man, this fucking song hits right here in the scene, and you're like, I gotta listen to that, and you listen to it, it doesn't feel.
But if you look at it from a larger perspective too, like, so you've got the soundtrack playing and these ghosts coming out, and you've already got it set against this great New York Gothic skyline that's already there. They don't even have to add that. You know, New York is got a lot of Gothic tones in their buildings and things like that. So they just focused on these buildings that already had what they were looking for. And it's beautifully done. So like, yeah, so they used New York's already Gothic architecture, which is used to kind of set up the story in other ways, right? So like one of the first things you see is the lion outside of the library. And it just sort of sets up, you know, hey, something weird is happening here. Because they're not focusing on something that would be library related. They're not looking at books or anything. Like, you focus on this lion, and it sort of like hints the audience that, like, hey, this isn't going to be fun, right?
Yeah.
So they use all of these things as sort of like a way to lead you into the story, and I think they do it beautifully. I'm giving it a 9.5. It's a perfect, damn near perfect movie. I can't say a 10 because I just can't. It's a 9.5 though, all day.
Okay. What do you give Groundhog Day? Or I mean, fucking Caddyshack then, if it's your favorite?
It's probably a 9.5.
Oh, okay.
One's
But
a
it's only
bet-
my favorite because he's the director.
Yeah,
No.
but one's a better 9.5.
Right.
Got it?
Not
was like a
necessarily.
9
I like Caddyshack a lot.
9.52.
These are all movies that I've watched. I've spent my life watching, so I have a lot to say about them, and I would beg that they're probably all going to be 9.5s.
Right. All right, Eric. What about you, man?
Well, this movie, I've really, I gotta go back to think about my childhood, and I've always enjoyed watching.
Here it
this.
is. I was waiting for it. I enjoyed it.
I've always enjoyed these movies.
He said,
I'm sorry, these movies are responsible for 90% of our personalities.
Yeah,
I don't care what
mean,
anybody says. Like, we all try to live up to the wittiness of Venkman. You know,
Yeah.
we all try to be smart, or you know what I mean? Like, we.
Yeah, you have movies from your childhood, especially we do, because we grew up in the 90s.
Yeah,
We grew up in a time when we didn't have social media and
Thank God.
YouTube influencers and things like that, like these kids nowadays. We had movies, and what we saw in movies based, like, these characters are what we would sometimes base our own personalities off of. Like, we would try to act like them or mimic them. We weren't trying to mimic and act like YouTubers and TikTokers and all that shit nowadays.
man, that's your youngest.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
it's a 9 for me.
he's like, I'm just gonna go ahead and
I'm
put
just
it up,
I'm just
and
putting
it's
it
a
out.
fucking
It's a
9.
9.
But anyway, like, that's the thing is, like, I remember watching the Ninja Turtles as a kid and thinking I would love to be just like Leonardo, just calm, cool, and collected, and you know what I mean, and the leader.
Mhm.
And that's just how I always was growing up. I always tried to be the quiet one, the one that was like, don't do that, that's a bad idea. And that's how I was throughout my whole childhood.
Mhm.
That's why I stayed out of trouble, you know, for a lot of reasons like that. So whenever they say that, like, those movies and that show was like a negative influence on kids, I fucking disagree. If anything, Leonardo kept me out of trouble. Like, I wasn't out trying to fight people,
I think
but
if kids are going to look at something like that and try to emulate it,
Yeah.
then they're already assholes.
oh, I agree. Yeah.
I'm sorry, if you let media influence you in any way, I'm talking to everybody now.
Yep.
You let media influence you in any way, you're a dumbass.
Yeah.
I mean, other than like, oh yeah, I like that character. Oh, I like this. I like that. You can emulate certain things about that character, but to be like, oh, I saw Leonardo beat up some bad guy, so I'm gonna go out here and do it to my brother.
Yeah.
I
Come
saw
on.
them cut into a guy and it was really a robot. Let's try it.
It's
Yeah.
funny because as a
Yeah.
kid, that's who I tried to be, but as an adult, I tried to be more like Bruce Campbell. Get the fuck away from me. Anyway, let's go ahead and move into the Rotten Tomatoes stuff.
I'm saying 95
For critics,
for
Oh,
critics.
man.
Critics.
93.
Shit. 90, I guess.
Eric got it on the nose. It's a 95.
You fucking cheater.
Uh,
I'm going 97.
for audience,
Mhm.
For
Oh,
audience, I
fuck.
bet it's
I'm saying
probably
98. Oh fuck, you said 97. God damn it.
I know.
lower. What?
The fucking 99.
What did you say, 97? 95?
You're gonna get it. It's an 88.
I see. I was thinking it was in the 80s, but I was like, fuck it, I'm going to just go right under them.
Critics' consensus: an infectiously fun blend of special effects and comedy, with Bill Murray's hilarious deadpan performance leading a cast of great comic turns.
See, I don't think that Bill Murray's even the funniest guy in the movie, though.
He's the one that stands out initially,
Yeah.
but upon rewatches and stuff, you start to see the other humor. It's
Right.
it's people that only watch it once and like, oh, that Venkman's a funny guy. They don't
Yeah,
stop
the
to
first
think that-
time, but then watching it a few more times, like, he's kind of annoying. I want more from Ray or from like Lewis or something like that.
Well, it's funny because they usually, it's kind of like a lot of times whenever he's talking, they're all like, "Yep, let him go. We've tried to stop him, just let him go." All right, this person couldn't put their name on it because they can't stand behind their own words. This is a half a star.
Fuck you, nameless.
Dumbest
Probably
movie
dickless too.
I ever seen. Boring and cringe. Jason, also a half star, October 19th of 2024. I didn't get a chance to go to the movie. I missed the opportunity. I basically paid for a movie I didn't go to. So
Okay.
he's
Are you reviewing the wrong?
I award you no
no,
points,
he's saying
and may God have mercy on your soul.
he didn't get a chance to go see the movie. He missed the opportunity. He paid for a movie that he did not go to.
So why
so he
review
gave it
it?
a half a star.
I'm
So he
not.
never watched.
I'm
the
not
movie.
making it up. You can read it yourself.
No, what I understand is like when.
He reviewed the movie that he didn't go watch.
Yeah.
but what I'm
he
saying
paid
is like
for
it was in theaters in 1984. How was that? I don't understand. Like, are you sure he's reviewing the right movie? Is what I'm asking.
I don't have any basis for it other than what I'm reading. I just know
Okay.
that he was mad that he bought a ticket and didn't get to go. Maybe he's still mad about it 20 years later. You don't know.
More like 40 years later.
Wait,
but-
no, that's not 2004. It's 2024. Sorry. I
Yeah.
thought it was 2004 for a second.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm thinking that he
40
reviewed the
years.
wrong movie. I think he's probably talking about like I don't know.
Afterlife or something.
Well-
No, not Afterlife. The other one, the newer one,
What about if,
Cold
because sometimes they
World?
do,
Frozen Empire.
Empire.
re-releases of old movies.
Sometimes,
like on
yeah.
an anniversary or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. All right, Penny Yoda K. Penny, I don't know. Half a star. I know it's a movie for kids. I disagree. Not that it isn't. Not that you can't let kids watch it, but I don't think it's geared for kids.
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
I know it's a movie for kids, but it has so many adult fans. I was expecting something clever and fun. It was so boring I couldn't get into it, and having Bill Murray as the romantic, funny lead was unbearable. I did like the other two characters in the Ghostbusters team, but they couldn't save the movie for me.
I mean, that's an honest opinion.
He has
Can't really knock him for
reasons at least.
Yeah.
But I don't agree with him.
It's better than the last three we've
that.
had.
Well, like
Yeah.
I said, that's an honest opinion. Can't
Yeah.
knock it for that.
3-star from Anjum K. Although well made, it is thin on plot and thrills. I mean, what do you want?
I thought the plot was pretty well.
It's solid. I can't find
I
any.
thought the thrills were just fine. It really wasn't about the thrills. Really, it was more about the comedy and things like that. I would
I
think.
don't understand that.
It's not a fucking action movie.
Evan G, 3 stars, said, I thought it was a good introduction to the series.
How many stars?
3.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't understand why. I thought it was a good introduction to the series. It's the first one, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. I don't think it was intended to be a series. Whenever they wrote the first one,
No.
they were just like, "Hey, let's make this movie about guys who capture
Matter of fact, they
ghosts."
really thought it was going to bomb. But
I could see that. Yeah.
I don't understand. I guess it's weird to hear it put that way. And to give it 3 stars for it? Like,
I don't know.
I guess.
Some people got weird.
So
ways
this
of
is
thinking.
a 2-star. No name. Really don't understand what the big deal is. Probably because I watched it for the first time being 34. That could do it.
34 and gay.
1
I
star.
don't mean gay as in you like dudes gay. I mean gay as in you're fucking stupid.
1 star. No name. Horrible. 1 out of 10 rating. That's it. That's all they said. This is a 3-star by Joseph Tutorials. My first time watching Ghostbusters. I didn't get much enjoyment out of this movie. The ghosts are okay.
Nice code name.
Oh, out this movie. The ghosts are okay. To be honest, the characters are fine. Nothing crazy. I like the score and the music. I like the music some. The CGI is just an okay movie. I did like the ending of the film, 79%. There was no CGI. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
This is a 3.5 star. Kind of good. It attached to memoria of the first movie. That's why I included this. Because I think they meant memories, but they put an A on the end instead of an S. And
Major
it
brain,
attached,
major brain
kind of
hurt.
good. It attached to memoria of the first
Do
movie.
you ever think like some of these people speak a different language?
Do you
They
ever-
might,
Because a
well,
lot of them have bad grammar.
but they didn't put their name on it, so I can't tell you. Which means they're not proud of their work.
Why speak many words when small words make?
Well, yeah, but you can stand behind that. Put your name behind it. All right, this is the last one. This is by Daniel K. It's a 1 star, and you guys brace yourselves. It's going to hurt. Okay?
Okay.
Paul Rudd was not in this movie.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
It's funny because he's in the sequel.
Why? Wait, why does that pop up all over the place?
I think
It
it's
was,
the same.
it was
there's
like
just-
a meme thing there for a
Yeah.
while. It was like a whole thing. Like anytime Paul Rudd wasn't in a movie, or
Somebody.
sort of like that's a bad example because you're not going to know what I'm talking about either.
I
Never
wish
mind.
we
I
could
got
interview Paul Rudd and be like, dude, why
Are
are
you-
they doing this?
I think Paul Rudd's doing it.
he just puts
He just goes
He
in a
gets
random.
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Paul Rudd was not in this movie.
Yeah.
He wants more work.
He should have more work.
It would be hilarious if like it come out one day that like if during an interview he just goes, yeah, so I get on Rotten Tomatoes and and all of the movies I just say
No, he's
Paul
gonna
Rudd.
put that in his obituary. He will die.
Paul Rudd was not in that movie.
Yeah. Dude, like, you know how funny
No, it's gonna be on his gravestone. Paul Rudd is not in this grave.
Yeah.
you know how funny it would be is like anytime you buy a movie, you can like press a button and Paul Rudd would just kind of shoot to the side, kind of like that oopsie guy on Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
You could just have him kind of shoot into the movie from time to time.
Yeah.
Just because of this meme or whatever the hell this is. Anyway.
All right. Is that all you had?
Yep, that's it.
All right, let's move.
Sweet ass trivia with Karen.
All right.
Hold on.
I'm Karen.
To Karen. Take it away.
To Karen,
To Karen.
I got
Karen.
nothing.
raise your pinky.
Raise the Satan's head.
Make sure you put your
Drink
pinky
out of his
out.
horns.
Put your pinky out. Come on. Be Pinky. Pinky.
It's broken.
E.
E. Now put the peanut.
What? Put the what? Put the peanut?
I meant to say pointer finger and it came out.
Put the peener in there. Well, my daughter's brain is in the gutter.
I meant to say put the pointer finger down. It came out as
Put your peener down.
Oh, no, whose daughter she is that? Oh, damn.
Holy shit, dude.
I'm
Put
done.
your peener down.
Uh,
All right, kids, calm down. Come on. Grow up.
put the.
Put your pinky out and your pointer down.
Put the painter down.
Put your peener down.
Put the painter down.
Now more down. Sit.
Even funnier, like I was trying to get a piece out of Crystal. Crystal's like, put your peener down.
You're gonna have to tell Crystal that's the new word for penis in your house.
Painter.
I think she's been listening to the podcast, so she'll probably listen to this one.
That would be hilarious. She's gonna walk in one day and be like, "Peener, huh?"
Peener, huh? Yeah. Real original, guys.
Real original.
Yeah, they ain't talking about movies. You're talking about peeners.
I could just imagine Crystal critiquing us. Like one night we all hang out, and she'd just be like, "So I was listening, and here's what I'm saying.
Here's what the issue is.
You guys are acting like 12-year-olds. We know.
Yeah.
We know. We're aware.
You think we do this because it's a job? We do it because it's fun.
We are aware what we act
Yeah.
like. All right, so the character of Winston was meant to have joined the team much earlier and would have been slimed at the hotel. When Eddie Murphy declined the role, the script was rewritten to have Winston appear about halfway through the film.
Eddie Murphy.
He was also supposed to be a badass, like a ballistics guy for the military and all this good stuff.
I would love to see Eddie Murphy in this movie.
I think he would have been too
I think you've been too
boisterous,
overmuch.
too
I
loud,
don't care.
too.
I don't care.
I
Compared
like
to what?
Winston. I like Winston. I like Winston as
I
he
get
is.
that, but I mean, like compared to like Bill Murray, what are they afraid he's going to take away from Bill
That-
Murray?
I feel like that's going to be a clash.
I don't give a shit, dude.
One-
I want
you're gonna
Eddie
either-
Murphy.
You're going to hate both of them or one of them.
I love Bill Murray, but not as much as Eddie Murphy.
I disagree with that. I like Bill.
That's
Or
fine.
I like Eddie Murphy.
You're
a lot,
entitled
but-
to your wrong opinion.
But you can't steal my lines. That's bullshit. That's copyrighted. You owe me money.
Show me the copyright.
All right.
Call my lawyer. You have your lawyer call
You
me.
mean
whatever.
the one that you owe money?
I don't owe any lawyers any money. Shut up.
There's no legality problems here at all.
Imagine Richard Pryor.
Oh God! Now Richard Pryor. Yeah, I'd take him over Bill Murray for sure. Richard Pryor was fucking hilarious. Wonder Wheel. When Lewis
Yeah,
Tully.
Richard Pryor would be pretty good. In that
Oh my
movie.
God, he was
I agree
good.
with
Oh
that.
God, I love that guy.
Yeah.
When Lewis Tully mingles with his party guests, commenting on the price of the salmon and so on, the scene is one continuous shot and almost entirely improvised. Almost none of the scenes were filmed as scripted. Most had at least one ad-lib. Most of Bill Murray's lines are ad-lib. The schedule for getting the movie into theaters for its release date in the summer of 1984 was so tight, Director Ivan Reitman said that the final print included incomplete special effects shots and errors like visible wires. But remarkably, people didn't care. That just goes to show you that when a movie plot and characters work that well together, like, you can overlook a lot.
Yeah.
When Venkman mentions the time Spengler tried to drill a hole in his head, that would have worked if you hadn't stopped me, was actually ad-libbed by Harold Ramis. After Harold Ramis died on February 24th, 2014, fans of the movie paid tribute to him by visiting the New York City firehouse used in the exterior shots and created a makeshift memorial featuring Nestle Crunch bars in reference to Venkman giving him one, Twinkies in reference to Spengler using the Twinkie to describe the ghost problem in New York City, and collections of spores, molds, and fungus. Harvey Comics creator Casper sued the producers, claiming the ghost in the logo was too close to the Casper character Fatso. The court
I
ruled.
can see that, actually.
Well,
That
the
makes
court
sense.
ruled against them, stating that there's only so many ways to draw a ghost, which is true.
Right.
On the set, Dan Aykroyd referred to the Slimer ghost as the ghost of John Belushi. Slimer's gluttonous eating was based on Belushi's cafeteria scene in Animal House. Though never referred to in the script, the green ghost the guys bust in the hotel was called Onion Head by the crew because of its horrid smell. A scene where the ghost haunts two newlyweds showed this characteristic, but it was cut. Contrary to popular belief, the name Slimer is not used in the film and was created for the real Ghostbusters cartoon based off Venkman's line in the film, "He slimed me." The ghost was only ever referred to as Onion Head and the ghost of John Belushi by the cast and crew before the creation of the cartoon.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that they never called him Slimer in the movie, but that, they said like, he's slimy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like, and I think I knew that they named him Slimer in the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's
And-
like a pet in the cartoon.
Yeah, and but I didn't know that his name was Onion Head for the movie.
Yeah, I did. Well, it was a behind the scenes name that they called the puppet because it stank. And then like, I knew about the John Belushi thing because I remember seeing an interview with the three of them talking about, he was kind of like their fallen brother, and they wanted to honor him in some way. So they tried to give certain characteristics to certain characters in the movie. One of them was Slimer. So, so they touched on people calling it the ghost of John Belushi on set. So, the rooftop set for the final confrontation between Gozer and the Ghostbusters occupied an entire soundstage and required 50,000 amps of electricity to be properly lit. Columbia Pictures had to shut down other sound stages while this scene was being filmed.
It's crazy.
The movie's line, Dogs and Cats Living Together, Mass Hysteria, was voted as number 68 of the 100 Greatest Movie Lines by Premiere in 2007. The movie line, Well, There's Something You Don't See Every Day, was voted number 19 of the 100 Greatest Movie Lines by the same people. But honestly, like, what about the dickless line? That's easily like top 10.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite lines in the movie.
Oh, shit.
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
After the film's release, here we go. We're talking about dickless. William Atherton became reviled when he ran into director Ivan Reitman one day. He was furious and upset by how people were treating him. He told him that he couldn't even go into a bar without people wanting to pick a fight with him. In another incident, Atherton was walking down a stretch of 7th Avenue in New York, which was entirely crowded with school bus, when he heard lots of children shouting at the top of their lungs, "Hey, dickless!"
Hey, dickless!
The experiment Venkman is conducting with the cards and electric shock is based on a real experiment. The Milgram experiment had subjects giving other subjects electric shocks when asked to give a list of words. You know about this. The experiment was really set up to test people's willingness to give electric shocks to one another. Harold Ramis jokes the scene was a test to see how well the audience could accept a hero who gave unfair electric shocks to his test subjects. According to Ivan Reitman, Bill Murray loved this scene.
So the whole thing about the one dude being called dickless and things like that, if that was an issue, why the fuck did you keep playing bad, like, douchey guys throughout the rest of your career? You played one in Die Hard, you played one in Real Genius. Like, you were a...
I don't know, you get typecast, but you're making good money doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe you just stick with it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're good at it, you know what I mean?
Well, he's getting pissy because he's getting called names and shit. Well, stop playing douchey characters.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but
you got a face for it, so good for you.
I mean, he does a good job.
Real Genius, that's a good movie, too.
Yeah.
Really
Michael Keaton turned down both the roles of Venkman and Spengler. Christopher Walken, John Lithgow, Christopher Lloyd, and Jeff Goldblum were all considered for the role of Spengler. I bring all of that up to say that Harold Ramis only wanted to write the film. He did not want to be in the film, as he's usually not wanting to be in films. He wanted to direct it. He only accepted it when all other avenues of the people that he had put, forward as people to play the character were exhausted. Additionally, Steve Guttenberg turned down the role of Peter Venkman to star in Police Academy. When Dan Aykroyd first saw the pole at the fire station set, which was actually an abandoned firehouse, he said they had to use it. It wasn't just a moment in the movie, said Ivan Reitman. So you literally did want to...
That part shit was funny. They were like, I don't know, this guy needs a lot of work. And then he comes down the pole, he's like, this place is great.
We should
gotta
sleep
have
here
it.
tonight.
Can we sleep here tonight?
Yeah.
He was like a kid in a candy
Or
store.
when they're coming out of the bank and he's like, you didn't even try to haggle with them at 19%? And
Yeah.
he's like, oh, for your information, the interest alone is $95,000. All you see is the three of them walk out, the two of them yammering at each other, and you see you going back there. He's already thinking about how bad this is. It's like,
What are the negatives in my account gonna be?
The firehouse set that the Ghostbusters used as their headquarters was used as a mechanic shop in The Mask, 1994. I don't remember if we talked about that.
Yeah.
I think we did, yeah. That firehouse has been used for a few different movies, actually.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Ron Jeremy?
Yeah, he's in the crowd. Yeah. Yeah, he's in the crowd.
He's an extra behind the barricade on the left when Ray and Winston drive up in Ecto 1 after the containment unit explodes.
Yep.
A more ferocious version of the librarian puppet was going to be used, but it was rejected. A year later, it appeared in Fright Night. 2002 edition to the Oxford English Dictionary actually credits Bill Murray's ad-lib, "This chick is toast," as the origin of toast in the sense of a person or thing that is defunct, dead, finished, in serious trouble, etc. Only one car was used for the Ecto 1. Medjuk jokes that no film would ever have only one of a car this old and beaten up to shoot with. The car used for the Ecto 1 finally broke down during the filming of Ghostbusters 2. Bill Murray getting the least amount of marshmallow splatter near the end of the film as an in-joke to his and Harold Ramis's and Ivan Reitman's previous film together, Stripes. In that film, Murray's character receives a basic training haircut that is a mere trim, while others in the platoon are nearly shaven bald.
That's another good movie. Stripes.
Oh, yeah.
It's a movie, and then they remade it, too.
It was decided as an in-joke similarly in this film, Murray would be the least splattered by the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Many sequences were shot but removed from the film. A couple of the following were added as extras to the Criterion Collection, so I kept some of these on here, the ones that I thought were the most interesting. Several scenes throughout the film with Janine and Egon were cut. One scene occurred outside City Hall before the Ghostbusters drove off into battle against Gozer, with Janine hugging Egon and giving him a coin for luck. Peter interrupts them by saying, "Didn't your mom tell you not to get involved with no Ghostbuster? Now go on and get home." The first time Venkman leaves Dana's apartment, he says to Lewis, "What a woman." More scenes of Lewis roaming around New York City as the Keymaster. In one scene, he encounters 3 muggers in Central Park and breathes fire at them. In another scene, he sniffs store windows and then meets a prostitute. When he asks her if she's the gatekeeper, she thinks it's a sexual come-on and says yes. Lewis grabs her, yells "Zool," and plunges his face into her breast, causing her to get upset. That's hilarious.
That's where you're like treading on a maybe it's not for kids.
Right. No, I understand completely why it was cut, but that is hilarious. All right, Harold Ramis got married after Ghostbusters 2. His hair at the time was still formed like Egon's, lifted high up on the forehead. He recollects as he was walking down the aisle, Bill Murray yelled out, "Your hair is perfect." Joe Medjek remarks that Ghostbusters 1984 shows its age by the amount of people who are seen smoking. He says all that changed by the time Ghostbusters 2 came out. No one smokes in that film. "We did ecstasy," said Harold Ramis. That's it.
All right.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Or are we just watching Caddyshack?
Let's just pick
Surf
box
Ninjas.
here. We picked a lot of older movies.
I'm just kidding, dude.
Let's see what happens.
I just watched Caddyshack not too long ago.
Surf Ninjas.
I don't think that's
It's
in there,
not
is
even
it?
in there now.
Texas Chainsaw
God
Man.
damn it.
Are you joking? Are you joking? Can you please throw that back in here?
No, it's
Throw it
out.
away.
I
It's
have a few
out.
months left. I don't want to waste it watching a bunch of Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
You'll be fine.
No, I won't.
We can't just
I'm gonna
watch all the
die.
movies that you
Throw it
want to watch
away.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're trying to
Sorry,
get through these
Karen.
fucking movies,
I
man.
tried.
Karen doesn't
Wait.
care.
I don't
No,
care.
Karen likes them. Sorry.
Which one
Eric.
is this,
I
anyway?
tried.
I
We
don't
watched.
know. Hold on, I gotta get the thing back up here.
Shit, which
One
one
of the
are we on?
remakes.
I think this is 3D, isn't it?
It's kind of hard to tell because we put the actual titles in here, and like, what is this? Another Texas Chainsaw, or is it like Leatherface 4, or is it like what is it? I'll put in Texas Chainsaw first.
I think we should skip the Leatherface movie. I don't think that should
No,
even
we
be
ain't doing
included.
any of that. The next one that has Massacre in it is All American Massacre, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 5.
What?
What?
This is just getting too damn confused. Fuck this shit. Go to something else.
Hold on a minute.
Texas Chainsaw 3D,
I'm pretty sure it's 3D.
Texas Chainsaw 2022.
It's not that one.
Yeah, and then I'm back to All American Massacre.
What
Can
the
we
fuck
skip
is
to
All
the
American
2022
Massacre?
one?
I don't know.
I'm looking it up.
You looking up like the order in which they were
It
made?
says All American Massacre, the Lost Texas Chainsaw film. That's. I don't think that's anything. It's probably like a documentary or something. Yeah,
Hold
it's
on.
a documentary.
Put that cookie down!
All American Massacre. Oh, 2000.
That's a documentary.
No, this one's All American Massacre. No One Will Survive.
Yeah. Is that a movie?
Hold on a second. I'm looking. Interviews with tabloid news crew.
Bill Moseley?
Guys, this is
Yeah, Bill Moseley.
complicated.
I don't think that this is a Texas Chainsaw movie. Unless it's just a movie about Chop Top. I don't know.
It's an
But that is-
unreleased film directed by William Tony Hooper, son of Toby Hooper, the director of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Despite having been completely filmed with an expected theatrical release, it was never actually released.
Okay, so we're
So,
not doing that. So I would say it's Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Texas.
It's got Alexandria Daddario in it. That one came out. I don't fucking remember when it came out. There's so many of these fucking movies. This is the most
2013.
2013. That would be it.
Why did we agree to put all of them in the box again?
I don't know because we're dumb.
It was your dad's idea.
I might have
Oh.
been. I'm dumb.
Thanks a lot.
So it's gonna be Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. We're not doing the Leatherface movie. I don't want to do that movie. I don't think it's not canon to any. Well, none of it's canon. But like, I just don't think that we should include it for the simple fact that it's really not a Leatherface movie. You know what I mean?
No. I don't remember any of these movies beyond like the first one. So I was down to watch them all. But you do you, boo.
I don't think we should do the Leatherface movie. It's not a Leatherface movie. It's like an origin story about Leatherface, but they're all kids, and I don't know. We'll see. Because I think after this, we only have 3 more. I
Let me
say that
see.
like it's a big, I think there's only 3 more after this one.
Yeah. Leatherface, 2022. Oh, actually 2.
2, yeah. There's
Yeah, 2.
Leatherface, and then there's the remake. Or not a remake, the one on Netflix or whatever.
Yeah.
I like that one.
So, I don't know. Maybe we will do it. Because we've only got this one, Leatherface, and then the 2022 one.
Is the 3D playing on anything? Because it's not showing up for me.
Let's check for Eric. He's so happy about it. Look at his face. He's so excited.
Can you blame him?
This one's got some cringy ass fucking moments in it, though. For real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get him, cuz. Oh my god.
You tell me the other ones didn't have cringy moments.
They all have cringy moments.
The movie is a cringe-worthy moment.
Hoopla and Plex. Both are
Hulu.
free, but both have ads.
You said Hulu.
Hoopla and
Hoopla
Plex.
and Plex.
Those
Hoopla
are
and
where you
Plex.
can stream them. If you want to rent them, they're on everything else. Amazon.
Or you could
Apple.
look
Plex
it up
is,
illegally
Plex
and watch
is fine.
it. It works for me.
Oh, well, I'll get it.
This movie is I don't really know. It's Leatherface chasing people down with a chainsaw, just like in every other movie.
I mean, it's completely original, I'm sure.
I will say though, I like the Netflix, the one that was on Netflix or Hulu, or it was Hulu, not Netflix.
It was Netflix.
It was Hulu. It was a Hulu made movie.
The one with the sisters and they're in college or whatever they're doing, and
Yeah, I
they
think
get
you're
on
right.
the bus. It's Netflix.
I think it was Netflix. You're right. Yeah.
I only know that because I was missing the Hulu password for 3 years, and he wouldn't give it to me. It's not that he
Incredibly
wouldn't
rude.
give it to me; he just wouldn't tell me. He didn't know what the password was, and he refused to change it. So I could not get in. And I literally, the only reason I got in is because he combined our Disney and Hulu accounts, and I knew what the Disney password was, and that's how I got into Hulu. And that was just this year. I'm moving out this year.
Hacker lady.
All right, next week we're gonna do Texas Chainsaw 3D. You guys, don't forget to check out them socials down in the description and all that good shit. Man, another Texas Chainsaw movie.
Can I give
The
the movie
closer we
a
get to
0
done.
right now?
We're
out of
almost
spite?
there.
hmm
Out of how many movies is this now?
Out of spite.
I don't remember how many there are total.
There's
9?
3 to begin with, and then
Feels like 9.
feels like a lot. It's been a lot.
Too
It's
many.
been- I think we've watched 5 or 6 so far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think there's like
It's been
9
like
total.
6 of them we've watched so far.
Yeah,
I'm about to torture him by putting all the Friday the 13th in there.
I would watch
It's all
them
the
again.
same
I've never
thing.
seen any of the Friday
So
the
is the
13th.
Texas
You
Chainsaws.
do not want to
So are
sit
the
through
Halloween
that many
movies.
reviews of me and Joseph watching
Like,
Friday the
this is
13th.
It's
garbage.
the same thing as a Texas Chainsaw for me.
Girl takes off
The
shirt,
fuck?
girl dies.
Yeah, but we're all on equal playing field when it comes to Texas Chainsaw because none of us are trying to defend it.
Oh, look, another,
Except for the first one, I will defend that one until the day I die. But
all of the
for all
Friday
the rest
13th
of them, nobody's defending
I don't
that.
defend the Friday the 13th. I just like the kills.
Friday the
That's
13th,
it.
every
That's
movie's the
it.
same. They all go. They get in a cabin. They have a party. A couple of them have sex. They all die.
But they die horrendously, and I enjoy it.
Real. That's real talk. Can we watch some movies?
No, they're all the same. I'm telling you. Up until like 8.
And the lore makes
This
no
guy,
sense.
man, he calls
No, it don't.
himself
It
a
don't.
horror fanatic
Makes
trying
no
to culture
sense.
his kids. He won't even show me some of the most basic.
I've
horror
got all
movies.
of them on Blu-ray. Feel free to watch every
I'm
one.
not
of
watching them movies by myself. Are you crazy? That guy's gonna show up in my wardrobe.
I think
Look,
they
I
don't even
watched
get
them,
interesting
right.
until
I-
8.
Listen, Madison, I hadn't seen them ever in my life
they weren't scary
until like
were
2
they?
years ago.
They're not
And-
scary.
And I only watched it because I thought I make fun of these movies so much. I need to watch them because I'm making fun of something I've never seen.
I watch horror movies Home Alone.
I went
I'm
into
just
that
joking.
legit thinking about it like Freddy Krueger, thinking like, hey, these movies are gonna be good.
I think
at
Jason
least.
Goes to Brooklyn is like the best one. 'Cause
Jason
I
Takes
legit
Manhattan.
have
Yeah,
no
Manhattan.
idea why that franchise has a following. I seriously thought that these movies were gonna be good
They're mindless as
by
fuck.
80s
Yeah.
slasher standards, right?
Yeah.
No, I was wrong.
And a lot of people in the horror community will agree with Karen that they are not good movies.
They're
Mm-mm.
not.
They're not good movies.
Mm-mm.
So
Especially when they're made in the what is the pinnacle
Don't you
of
have a Friday the
slasher
13th shirt?
horror
no,
during the 80s.
Yeah, you did.
that's all I got.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. I was thinking of it on.
Anyway, you guys go watch Texas Chainsaw 3D, and so you can come back here and bitch about it with us next week. Until then, you guys have yourself a wonderful week.
Okay, bye.
Anymore, my hands.